So we have a work rate problem here. Typical setup, they're giving us pumps that are pumping water into an empty tank. And we're told that one of the pumps can do half of the job in 3 hours, and the other pump can do 2/3 of the job in 6 hours. So I'm just replacing the word capacity with job here. And I want to highlight the work rate formula, which I've drawn down here. This is the formula that we want to use whenever we're in a situation where we have two different rates of speed from either two different people or two different machines. So basically what this formula does is it takes two different rates and says how long will it take for them to do a job together. And the T on the bottom here represents the amount of hours it will the number of hours it will take for them to do the job together. And logically, we expect that they're going to work faster together than either of them can work on their own. And you always want to keep that as a big picture thought in your mind as you're solving these problems. So looking at the first pipe, we know that it can do half a job in 3 hours. Well, that means it can do one job in 6 hours. And I always like to start by putting my jobs in terms of jobs per, or like hours per one full job. Now, this second rate is a little bit more difficult. It's 2/3 of a job in 6 hours. That means that we'd be able to do 1/3 of a job in half as long, 3 hours, because if we're doing half as much work, it will take us half as long. And then if I need to do 3 times this to do a full job, that means I will do one full job in 9 hours. So now we have our rates, one job per 6 hours and one job per 9 hours. And those are going to go in place of these two components in our work rate formula. So our formula becomes 1/6 plus 1/9 equals 1/t. And we need to get a common base. The least common multiple of 6 and 9 is 18, so I'm going to use that. But you can use 54 if you really want, it doesn't matter. So we're going to use 18, and that means we're going to multiply the top and bottom of this by 3, the top and bottom of this by 2, and that's going to equal 5/18, which is equal to 1/t. Now this is the easy part. We're looking for t, not 1/t. We just flip that fraction over. So we're going to flip over both sides. That's going to give us t over 1. T over 1 is equal to 18/5. And 18/5 simplifies, multiply the top and bottom by 2, and you'll get 36/10, which equals 3.6. So remember, whenever you're dividing by 5, it's typically easiest to multiply the bottom and the top by 2, and then just move that decimal point over one space to get the decimal. And the reason I did that is I looked at my answer choices and I saw that they were all decimals, not fractions. So I knew I was going to have to make that final adjustment. And this gives us answer choice B.